Good morning, and thanks for this opportunity to share my view on flowing with confidence, menstrual health and hygiene. And I will be skipping these slides because all of us know why it is important. We know all the pubertal changes, and we should know what is menstruation. It's a regular discharge of blood and mucosal tissue from the endometrium through the vagina, and we also know that rise and fall in hormones, Madam has already depicted that it leads to menstruation. And we must know what is normal menstruation so that we can know what is abnormal when a child presents. So we know menarche is between 9 to 14 years, menopause is between 45 to 50 years. Menstrual cycle anywhere ranges from 21 to 45 days, with each cycle lasting from 2 to 7 days, with around 30 to 40 ml blood loss, sometimes up to 50. But we should remember that the pads used over a cycle should be less than 16, and it should not be more than 5 in a day, and no large clots of menstrual blood. So if you summarize, you will see that a female menstruates for around 7 years in her lifetime. Knowing this, it becomes all the more important that we focus on health and hygiene of a menstruating women or a transgender or a binary, and we must explain them tips for good health. It goes without saying. Now coming to the main topic, menstrual health and hygiene, we know menstrual health is the physical, mental and social well-being of people throughout their menstrual cycle. And MHM, menstrual hygiene management, encompasses all the aspects of menstruation so that we can prevent infection and complication if any. WHO has given us key aspects like social, knowledge, facilities, materials and competent care in the spectrum of MHM. So working to change social norms and address stigma is really important, and there comes our role in supporting society. We must educate and provide knowledge to menstruating girls so they understand and manage it safely with confidence. Wash cannot be undermined. Water, sanitation and hygiene is utmost part, and an accessible bathroom, a bin for safe disposal, sanitary water. We'll be talking about materials in a bit length, and competent care by adults and specialists like us will help teenagers deal with menstrual pains and irregularities. So we have many products, and when it comes to choosing menstrual products, we use it for the purpose of absorbing and collecting blood during periods, and the varieties are disposables or reusables. Disposables, we all know it is sanitary pads and tampons, while reusables are newer ones with menstrual cups, menstrual discs, but the old and goldie one is clean and cotton clothes, reusable pads, and period panties is also a new concept. So while choosing between disposable or reusable products, we should know that while the disposable products are low in cost upfront, but recurring cost is high, it is a single use product, and for the same reason the wastage is high, and there is a load on environment. It is easy to use and discard, so it becomes a travel friendly option for a female. Coming to reusable products, the cost is high upfront but long-term savings because it lasts for almost 4 to 10 years, and that's why the wastage is minimal. It requires washing and maintenance, so when it comes to traveling, you need to plan your travels or the changing modes. Something more about menstrual cups, it comes in 3 sizes or sometimes 4 depending on the brand, that is small, medium and large, and the size is decided by the length of cervix and whether the girl has conceived or whether it is a teen or she had gone through C-section or the vaginal delivery. It needs to be learned, the technique needs to be done because it is to be inserted in vagina either in a C shape or a 7 shape. It has to be folded and inserted into the vagina. You can keep it for 8 to 12 hours depending on the flow. When you want to remove it, you can pinch the lower bottom of the menstrual cup, just pull it out, empty into the toilet, and you can clean and use. In between the uses, you just need to clean it properly, but in between the cycle, it needs to be sterilized by boiling in the boiling water for 1 to 2 minutes, or maybe keeping it in the boiling water for 1 to 2 minutes. using menstrual products, and here comes a role of hygiene because you need to wash your hands before and after using the restroom. Discarding the disposable products, I'll take one slide. Sanitary pads, we know that it can be worn for 6 to 8 hours, and tampons also 4 to 8 hours, but use low absorbency material, so you change it at least 8 hours, not more than that. We know it can lead to TSS. Menstrual cups I have dealt with. Period underwear is a easier option, can be used for 60 wash, and it can be machine wash also, but it is to be used with washed with the cold water. Other hygienic practices like wear lightweight, breathable clothing, we need to teach all the schoolgirls when we take school sessions. Change your menstrual products regularly, drink enough liquid, shaving of genital hair is not recommended, however they can do trimming. Track and monitor your period through a period app or a chart which I will share, and visit a healthcare provider for annual checkup as and when needed. And there are many brands available, but they are not needed because we know that vagina is a self-cleaning organ, and we just need to wash the outside of the vulva with plain water. Front to back wiping is also front to back, and no unscented toilet paper, tampons or pads. While disposing the materials, pads and tampons needs to be wrapped in a paper and to be placed in a bin. It should not be flushed because it takes centuries to break down, and it can also cause plumbing problems. Menstrual cups, I have dealt it before. Period panties I talked about. No fabric softener or hot water or bleach when you are washing a period panties. It comes in natural material, it comes in synthetic material also. Clothes can be used for 3 to 4 cycles, and then we need to replace those clothes. So this is in summary a full slide by World Bank Group, and it encompasses all the components of MHH. So what are the barriers? So that is mainly lack of affordable products and lack of wash, cultural taboos also, and that is called period poverty, where there is insufficient access to menstrual products, education and sanitation facilities. And our Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is doing wonderful work by providing sanitary napkins at the rate of 6 rupees for a 6-pad pack, and for that the ASHA worker will receive incentive of 1 rupee per pack, and they get free pads also. So in rural area the distribution has started, urban area they have got the circular, but yet the circulation has not started. Irregular periods, we must know that the adolescent girl may take around 1 to 2 years for the menstruation to get regularized. So when you get a girl with irregular periods in first year or second year of menarche, you may not do investigations as of now. So the concerns or red flags are no menarche by 15 to 16 years, periods have stopped for more than 2 months, or there is dysmenorrhea, or there AUB, or there are signs of PMD or dysmorphic disorders, and periods are unusually long. So for us pediatrician, how can we incorporate menstrual history in the routine checkup by using menses mnemonic? So knowing menarche will give gynecological age, cycle length in days, so we know whether it is menorrhagia or not, number of bleeding days, supplies used like more than 5 pads a day, effects on life, and start on last menstrual period, that will give us days also. And this is how a period tracker can be used. Myths, I won't say, all of us know, but we should be dealing their myths with caution. And before I end, the key points are that we need to start early, initial urge appropriate menstrual health and hygiene discussions with both a male and female. Ask the right questions when you see a adolescent, use the menses mnemonic, validate and educate them well, screen for red flag sign, and use resources. Post it in your waiting area as well. So these are the resources which I have used, and thank you so much again.